The air was thick with champagne and promises, the kind of night where the future sparkles and every eye is on the rising star. But as I stood beside my husband, his hand confidently resting on my back, my world was crashing down around me. In a room full of people celebrating his success, I had just uncovered the betrayal that would unravel everything we built his affair with her, and a secret of my own that could change it all. Tonight, everything would come to light, and no one, least of all Daniel, would be prepared for what I was about to reveal. Asterisk. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an incredible story like this one. It was a night that should have been filled with celebration. The kind of night where champagne flowed freely and the promise of a bright future sparkled in the eyes of all those in attendance. My husband Daniel had worked tirelessly for months, no, years, to make this moment happen. His company's grand launch was a culmination of countless sleepless nights, negotiations, and sacrifices. It was supposed to be a moment of triumph. Yet, I stood there, feeling the weight of the secret I had just uncovered, as my world unraveled in ways I could never have imagined. I should have been proud of him. After all, this launch was his dream, his vision finally realized. Daniel had always been ambitious, driven, and, until recently, I thought loyal. He had always spoken so lovingly of me, praised my support, and promised that everything he did was for us. But now, I couldn't help but wonder how much of it had been a lie. How many of the late nights were truly about the company, and how many were about her? The discovery had come like a bolt from the blue, the kind of revelation that strikes without warning, changing everything in an instant. I was backstage, preparing for my role in the evening's festivities hosting, greeting important guests, smiling for the cameras. A quiet conversation between two of the event coordinators had caught my ear. At first, it was just idle chatter, nothing that would have raised an eyebrow. But then, I heard her name. Sophie. The name was like a slap to the face, freezing me in place. I had heard the rumors before, whispers among the staff, veiled hints in conversations with Daniel's colleagues, but I had always dismissed them. They were nothing more than office gossip, I told myself. But hearing Sophie's name mentioned so casually, in the context of Daniel's success, made my stomach turn. I leaned closer, pretending to adjust my dress, listening intently. The conversation continued, each word chipping away at my resolve. "She's here tonight," one of the coordinators said, her voice low. "She's always here," the other replied, almost bitterly. "And you know it's not just about business. They're more than that, I can feel it." I wanted to scream. I wanted to confront them right then and there, to shout that I was his wife and I had every right to know the truth. But I didn't. Instead, I stood frozen, every instinct screaming at me to leave, to walk away from this night, from the lies, from him. But I couldn't. Not yet. I had my own secret to keep. A secret so powerful, so life-altering, that it made every other issue in my life seem trivial in comparison. I had only recently learned the truth about myself, and it had rocked me to my core. I had always suspected something about my family's past, a shadow that hung over me without explanation. But I hadn't been prepared for the truth. I was the heir to a fortune, a billion-dollar empire that I had never known existed. My real father wasn't the man who had raised me, but a powerful businessman who had built an empire that spanned continents. A revelation had come like a storm, sweeping away everything I thought I knew about myself. And now I had to decide what to do with this information. Should I confront my family? Should I claim what was mine? Or should I keep it hidden, burying the truth along with the rest of my secrets? But Daniel's betrayal complicated things. His affair with Sophie had shifted everything. I could no longer stand by him as I had before, not with this weight on my chest. And yet, I knew that confronting him in the heat of the moment would only add to the chaos. The launch was too important, too monumental. There were too many eyes on us, too many people whose opinions mattered to him and his company's future. I had to stay calm. I had to wait for the right moment. As the evening wore on, I forced myself to smile and interact with the guests, pushing aside the growing sense of dread that gnawed at me. I caught glimpses of Daniel throughout the night, always surrounded by his colleagues, always smiling and laughing as if everything was perfect. He had no idea that I knew. He had no idea that I could feel the tension in the air. The presence of Sophie just beyond my reach. I could see her now, standing in the corner, a glass of champagne in her hand. Her eyes locked onto Daniel with an intensity that made my blood boil. She was beautiful, confident, everything I wasn't. And in that moment, I felt a coldness settle over me, a sense of betrayal so deep that it threatened to consume me. But it was my turn to speak now. I had to take the stage, to greet the audience, to congratulate Daniel on his success. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest as I made my way to the microphone. The eyes of everyone in the room were on me, their expectations heavy, their gazes sharp. This was the moment where I could either crumble or rise. And I wasn't about to let him or anyone else see me weak. I stood at the podium, smiling as best as I could, trying to push the anger and hurt deep down where it couldn't be seen. I congratulated Daniel on his vision, his hard work, his dedication to his company. I spoke of our future together, of the dreams we had shared. But as I spoke, I couldn't help but feel the lie of it all. I was standing there, pretending everything was perfect, while the man I loved was out there in the crowd with another woman, living a life that didn't include me. As I finished my speech, I caught Daniel's gaze across the room. He gave me that smile, the one that always made me feel like everything was going to be okay. But tonight, I didn't believe it. Tonight, nothing was okay. I excused myself from the stage, retreating to a quieter part of the venue, my mind racing. I had to make a decision. Should I confront him now? Should I demand the truth? Right here, right now, in front of everyone? Or should I wait, let the night unfold, and reveal everything at the perfect moment? And then, as if the universe had heard my silent plea, Sophie appeared in front of me, her smile radiant, her presence almost suffocating. "I just wanted to say congratulations," she said, her voice sweet, almost too sweet. "Daniel's done an amazing job with this launch, hasn't he?" I stared at her, unable to hide the disdain in my eyes. "Yes, he has," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. She didn't seem to notice. She continued, her words too casual, too knowing. "You must be so proud of him. He's worked so hard. I'm glad to see everything coming together for him." I forced a smile, but I could feel my pulse quickening. She was toying with me, taunting me, and I hated every second of it. "I'm sure you two have been working very closely together," I said, my words sharp, though I tried to keep them neutral. "You must know him better than anyone." Her smile faltered for just a second, but she quickly recovered, her eyes flickering with something I couldn't place. "We've certainly spent a lot of time together. He's been great to me," she said, her voice soft but loaded with meaning. "I'm sure he's been great to you too." I had never wanted to slap someone so much in my life. But I didn't. I couldn't afford to. Not here. Not now. "Excuse me," I said, cutting her off before she could say anything else. "I need a moment." I walked away, the weight of everything crashing down on me. Sophie, Daniel, the affair, the $1 billion secret I was keeping. It was all too much. And yet, in that moment, I knew one thing for certain. Nothing would ever be the same again. I could feel the walls closing in, the truth threatening to spill out. But I couldn't decide if I was ready to face it. Not yet. But when the time came, I would make sure that both Sophie and Daniel knew the truth. Because I was done being the woman in the shadows. The heir to a fortune wasn't someone you ignored. And Daniel? He would learn that his lies would cost him everything. The night was far from over, but I was no longer playing by his rules. I had my own plans now.